All right, so we were saying we also saw some tips or ways through which we can improve retail logistics. So, is there anybody who can remind us on this one? I think this is where we ended last time. What are some of the ways through which we can improve our retail logistics management? Noel, give us some. I think it's just one. Are you people serious? Are you sure? What was the last function? Returns management. That's me. Are you agreeing with these people? All right, okay, fine. Since you are all agreeing that this is where we stopped, fine and good. Now, let us briefly look at those ways through which we can improve our retail logistics management. Mind you, whether it is in marketing logistics or retail logistics, those two major objectives still stand: cost efficiency and excellent customer satisfaction. So now we want to improve our retail logistics management so as to enhance those two objectives. Now, first of all, if we want to enhance our retail logistics operations, or we want to enhance the strength of our retail logistics management, we need to have strong and right working partners. Strong and right working partners. You must have these partnerships with the stakeholders that are in your space, but the relationship, the working relationship, has to be strong and a vibrant one. Now, what does this mean? Who are these partners? When you are when you are a retailer with retail logistics, you are dealing with both inbound and outbound logistics activities. Now, when it comes to inbound logistics activities, here we are looking at your suppliers. You as a retailer, you have your suppliers, right? Who are your suppliers as a retailer? They can be manufacturers or distributors, right? Or wholesalers. So that is this side, left-hand side. You have these ones. You have to make sure that you strengthen the working relationship with these people so that at least the supply of whatever they supply you should always be stable. There should be stability in the supply or the inflow of goods and materials into your organization. Uninterrupted one, for that matter, right? So there can be situations that can interrupt the inflow of these goods and materials into your organization. There can be some factors that can contribute to that. Now, if there is this interruption, the chances are you are also going to have interruptions in as far as your supply is concerned. You supplying your customers there are going to be some interruptions. Why? Because there were interruptions the other side. So it means you are disturbing the whole supply chain. So to avoid this, one way through which you can do this is to make sure that you build these working relationships with your suppliers one side. But on the other side also, you should also strengthen the same. That's why we are saying at least you should have strong and right partnerships with strong partners. So these partners that we're talking about, we are not only looking at one side, but both sides of the coin. You are here, and here are your suppliers. at least you should have stronger working relationship between you and them so that there's no interruption. At the same time also, here, you should also have, these are your customers. You should also have a stronger working relationship with those people. You should have a stable customer base. Having a stable customer base, what it means is you have a stable market share. You know that whenever you get supplies from here, already there you have your customers that are loyal to you. Now, for that loyalty to be there, you need to be reliable yourself first, right? Because the customers are not there just for you. They are there for the services that you provide. They are there for the goods that you give them, isn't it? So for them to be there, it's not because of you, but because of what you give them. So make sure at least you are reliable and you're closer to them and your working relationship is closer. So now, on the working relationship, I should emphasize already by being a customer here and you being a retailer, there is already a transactional relationship, isn't it? You give them, they give you something, give and take. Already that one is there. But for us to enhance that one, it means you should go beyond the transactions that are there. Now, how do you go beyond the transactions that are there? You, as here you are a supplier, like a retailer, you should be somebody who is ready to listen to their feedback, for example. If they have complaints, you should be ready to listen to those complaints. And not just listening, but at least attending to them by, among others, solving their queries or their problems that are there. That one alone strengthens the friendship or the relationship. In other ways, the relationship, we can safely say, it has now gone beyond the transactions that you people were doing. At times, there are situations where these customers may need after-sale services, right? They have bought something here, a transaction has been done and completed, they have gotten whatever they wanted and you have gotten the money, fine. But there are some services that those people may still need from you, after-sale services. Be ready to be there for them. Be ready to respond to them. That one enhances the what? The relationship, right? What are some of the after-sale services? When we say those are services outside the transaction, what are examples of them? Suggest any product or any service that you get from a retailer, but after that you need extra service after the transaction. Any example one can think of? Rory, you're not thinking of anything? Oh my goodness. What's wrong with this lady? Hmm? Tell us. Henry, what do you think? Any after sale service that you as a consumer you may need. For example, you've gone to a service provider, you've bought something, it's either a product or a service, the transaction is completed, but then you still need them to help you something. Right? Sorry? Transport? Okay. Yeah, at times there can be some service providers that may provide you with transport, right? After the transaction has been done, then they say, no, don't worry, we are going to uh, transport these things, deliver these things for free to your destination, right? Okay, this can also be an after-sale service. What else? What else? Sarah? Inspection. Say something on that one. All right. Okay. Yeah. That's another after-sale service as well. Yeah. What else? Yeah. Sorry. Rep, okay. All right. Well, yeah, that one is also can be seen as a service, and after sales service. You bought something and you realize that there is a problem in the functionality of whatever product you purchased. You can go back to them and they come back and fix that one. Is a service. And now here we are concerned with we are here. If your time up, we are here. We are looking at kuti tingathandize bwanji anthu palima service atamene tingathandize anthu achi kuti atiponde kuti ubale wathu ukhale payani patsogolo. That's what we are looking for. Yes, no, say something. Yeah, installation, right? So installation, that's exactly what I was looking for, and is similar to what Mesa is saying here. At times you buy something, whether it is a TV or something, and they may help you. You may need them to come and install it for you. Of course, around here in our locations, we have those guys who say, no, we know how to install this and that, whatever. But at times, a retailer can also do this. So by doing this one, it enhances the working relationship. Nevertheless, all what we are saying here is ways through which we can improve our retail logistics management. So growing relationships, both sides, can be very, very crucial and important. Another way through which we can enhance or we can improve our retail logistics management is our transformation to digital logistics. So transforming to digital logistics or migrating to digital logistics. This one can also help to enhance efficiency and effectiveness of what we are doing. Now, when we look at logistics as it is, basically it is concerned with the physical movement of these goods that we have. We say it involves planning, doing this and that. Then at the end of the day, we are able to physically move the goods from this point to the destination. That's what logistics is all about. But now when we are saying now migrating or transforming to digital logistics, does this mean we should be moving these goods and materials digitally? What does that mean now? Maybe that can be the question. Or what we are trying to do is to optimize logistics, our logistics operations, right? To remain competitive. Actually, this is what we are trying to do. We want to remain competitive. We want to be ahead of whoever is in the space. That is our competitors, okay? But then they are saying we should transform and go digital. What does this mean? What do we do? Kodi tingazinyamulira katundu zija zipitisa kwina tufa pitiseko digital? Is this what we are trying to say? What are we saying? Yahos, what are we talking about here? Please bring out something. Today, I want us to do a lot of talking. That's why I'll just be mentioning you people randomly. So, Mama Nguruve, tell us something. This digital transformation we are talking about, what is it? Miss, or else you want to help your neighbor here? I was thinking of paperwork. Okay, so now you are looking at it from the paperwork perspective. With all those processes, at times that they make use of physical papers like these ones, at least we can digitize. Okay, all right, let's hear from him also. Yeah, you want to say something? Yeah, okay, yeah, but I know you can bring it in a different way. It can be the same. Let me still hear from you. Okay. Okay. All right. Gertrude, what do you think? Okay. They are trying to tell us use materials which are of modern. Okay. 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 Okay, so using the materials that are a bit more improved. Okay, all right. Yes. Yeah, or you want to add, or you want to counter what she's saying. Okay, all right. Yeah, you are free. See, here, I'm just like a referee here. I'm not saying this one is right, this one is right, this one is wrong, whatever. So it's up to you people to debate. Yeah, what are you saying? Oh, you're not counting. So that your brother says you should repeat what you said.
Using materials which are improved or modern ones.
Okay, using materials. Now, have you gotten it? So you wanted to agree or to disagree with her? She's got it? All right. Yes, that's me. You were saying something. Innovation. Say something on innovation. What kind of innovation? All right. Okay, so the introduction of new ideas, that's the innovativeness. One has to be very much innovative, and those innovations have to be introduced into the uh, market. Well, fine. At least I've heard from each one, apart from two, Ehosa and Sarah. Okay, see, you ladies, I'm going to uh, I'm preserving you people. Your own time is coming, and this one as well. No, you didn't say. I know time is. We still have time. We still have time. All right. Okay. Now when we are talking about digitization, just as you people were suggesting, this is the exploitation or the use of digital technologies that are now here with us to optimize whatever we are doing and maximize productivity. So, for example, when it comes to completing a logistics process, we start with what? We say information sharing, right? Information sharing or information management. We mentioned this one, as a component of logistics. Now, this concept of logistics has been there for ages. But back in the day, there were some other ways through which people could exchange this information and then complete the logistics process. Probably people could write letters, as others were suggesting here, right? Of requesting something. No, we are requesting this, please send us ABCD, whatever. Then there came a time when people would just pick their phones and call somebody and do things. But now, as technologies kept improving, there came internet technologies, where now people are able to communicate digitally, right? Using the internet and so on and so forth. So to ease things. Now, when we are saying going digital, there are very many processes that are involved in there, apart from the communication that we are talking about here, of which you are able to communicate using internet, where through computers and smartphones and so on and so forth. Apart from that one, logistics also involves things like we say order processing, right? Or we have order processing. We have warehousing. Those are some of the functions in logistics. And again, in warehousing, we have processes like receiving, picking, and so on and so forth. Now, all these processes, most of these ones used to be done manually. But for you to optimize your processes and enhance efficiency, we can migrate to digitization, where you are able to perform these tasks using some softwares and some technologies that are there. A very good software that can be used and help in enhancing these processes is, we call it WMS, I think, yeah, warehouse management system. So warehouse management system is a kind of a software that helps you to organize all the warehousing functions, putting them under one roof. Of course, those are topics on their own in warehousing management, but still more. Just in passing, I just want us to have an idea that using such softwares in a warehousing facility, you are able to bring all the functions that are done in there. We're bringing them together. You're able to bring them together, and they are done faster with utmost efficiency and precision. So the inclusion of computer softwares in various functions that are involved in logistics can help you to improve efficiency and effectiveness. At times, there is what we call automation. Is also a technological innovation, right? Automation, where in your logistics chain, at some point, you may need to use automation in doing some other activities, especially in warehousing functions. Apart from automation, at times you can use robotic technologies. Others are already using those ones, where with those programmed robots, they are able to perform some other functions faster, easier, and at a very low cost, and with utmost precision. But those robots, once they are programmed, they cannot get tired anyway. They're not like humans. So they can do things with so much precision, at the same time with a lot of efficiency, but at a very lowest cost. So let me read out something here. It will also make sense to some of you. Digital supply chain transformation takes traditional supply chain management processes and optimizes them with latest logistics innovations such as automation, data analytics, robotic technologies, and of course AI. You know what AI is, right? Artificial intelligence. Some businesses, some organizations are trying to employ these innovations, data analytics, robotics, AI, automation, and so on and so forth, just to enhance their activities, their processes that they do. So the goal, why they bring all these ones together, why do they adopt these technologies, is to make sure that they create a more efficient supply chain, which is fast, resilient, and more sustainable. The idea why you have to bring the technologies, all these ones, is to make sure that you have a supply chain which is resilient, which is fast, and more sustainable. A supply chain which is more resilient, what does that mean? A resilient supply chain. My 3 friends that are remaining, here's your 10. A resilient supply chain. Madam Class Advisor. Yes, a resilient supply chain.
Reliable.
Okay. Resilient is reliable. Yeah. Come on. Yes, I want to hear what you're saying here. A resilient supply chain. Okay. Yes, sir, you want to help your friend here in front. Great one. You see? Yeah, so she has helped you, and together you have brought something very, very good. Actually, supply chain which can withstand adversities, right? Difficulties, challenges, and so on and so forth. So by bringing all these technologies, it means you be in a better position to withstand and navigate through the difficulties. Digital transformation. Okay. The third intervention that can help you to improve your retail logistics is the involvement of 3 PLs. 3 PLs. So a 3PL is third-party logistics. third-party logistics, right? Okay, so by bringing these ones, at least some of the works that you do, some of the activities that you do can be enhanced. Now, 3PLs, much as they can be a bit expensive at some point, but they will always help you to make things easier. 3PLs actually, they have their own merits or advantages, as in why you need to bring them on board. You need to bring them on board because of those strengths. One, they have expertise. Most 3PLs have expertise and experience. Okay, for example, you want to perform a particular function in the supply chain anyway. But that particular function, you feel like if you do it yourself, you do not have much experience and you are doubting yourself, you are not so sure of your experience and the outcome. You bring in somebody to do on your behalf. Now, because that one has been doing this for so long, repeatedly, the chances are he or she may be perfect in doing this thing. So by involving that one, you are harnessing the efficiency of that one through his or her experience. At times, the bringing in of a 3PL can come in because you want to concentrate on some other functions. You are there in a supply chain, you have some other things that you do as a retailer, for example. But now, for you to do, for example, the delivery yourself, you find that you've realized that it will consume much of your time. So you want to concentrate on some other things in here. You bring in somebody to do the deliveries on your behalf. You hire someone, a third party, to do your deliveries on your behalf. So it allows you to concentrate on some other things. So the coming in of 3PLs can also help to enhance your retail logistics management, and you become the best team. Okay, now in today's world, businesses are happening, business activities actually are happening with a lot of speed, and there are always constant changes that are happening without warning. That is in today's business space. A lot of things are happening so fast, and there are always changes that are happening so fast, actually without a warning. What are these things that we are talking about here? As a retailer, as somebody who is there in the supply chain, you always have stakeholders, right? It's either you have suppliers here, you have customers here. But at the end of the day, in a supply chain, your primary goal is, we say, to satisfy the customer. All eyes always look at the customer at the end of the day, or the consumer. So most of the changes that are happening, the ones that I say, there are always constant changes that are happening probably without your warning, are done, those changes are done by the consumers. Due to unpredictable consumer behavior, a lot of changes in the supply chain occur without warning. And because of that, the members of the supply chain are always reminded to be alert always and be able to respond to those sudden changes. Let us think of issues of fashions. You know, when the fashions are there, you realize that people always rush and say, no, pabwera ujeni marijanich fashion yakuti yakuti tikagule zimenezo, anthu amathamangira ukatani ukagula zimenezo. But after some time you find that pangakudutsa muna masiku ochepa, miyezi yochepa, people always say that izizi ukavala zimonika zachikale, ndikuti some other fashion will come in. Ijayo ndikuti basi, so ngati munakauda zinthu zambirimbiri munazasa warehouse yanu zilibe nsika, or else ndikuti you have to kuchepesa mitengo kana kuzitenga mukagulitsire kwina ngati mungathe kutero. You see? So why is this thing happening? It is because of the behavior of the consumer. Consumers have just changed. They have just realized that no, ichiso sichioneka bwino ife tikufuna changati chichichi. The moment you go ndi kugulano ukaoda zijazo somwe zikuoneka ngati na kuti akuzifuna zija, without warning, you will see that my customers asiya somuna sakuzikonda somezi ambaso konda so zinthu zina. So the behavior of the customers these days is always unpredictable. That's the consumer behavior. Now, this unpredictability of the consumer behavior leads to those instabilities in how you do your business operations. So, for you to remain resilient, for you to withstand such kind of instabilities, you should be able to be flexible, to be able to respond to those sudden changes, right? So now, this is taking us to a new concept that is here now in the space of, in the logistics space. That concept is coming from that background of unpredictability and instability of the market space. That new concept is coming from that background. So what is this new concept? We call this one supply chain agility. It's good for us to know this concept because throughout our journey as procurement people, that one we shall always need to use it again and again. Now, supply chain agility, that one is the ability of businesses, individuals, or organizations to respond to sudden and unpredictable changes. This supply chain agility is the ability of supply chain players. Supply chain players, in this case, we are talking about businesses and organizations. They can be retailers, wholesalers, producers, name them, to respond to sudden changes that may occur without warning. So, you are a producer of, you are running a bakery. You are running a bakery here, and what you were doing, you were baking my buns, no, my cake, and you were good, and you had customers and all. But all of a sudden, antu asiya sakukonda so makeke acha. Unaona no, pano panthu akumakonda chani? My buns ndi my Bin Laden. You see, that's what the people out there are now liking. Now, your ability to understand those changes and respond to what people are now looking for, and immediately you switch to my buns and Bin Laden. That's the agility we're talking about here. So that at least you don't lose the customers, because the customers are the same. Here is your community. This is the population that buys your products. So they used to buy you cakes, but now they are no longer interested in cakes. They are interested in some other products. Your ability to switch as quick as possible and respond to what that market is demanding is what we are referring to agility. So, since we are saying in today's business environment, there is no much stability due to unpredictable behavior of the customers. If you want to stand out, if you want to remain competitive, it is imperative and very important for you to cultivate, to grow this flexibility so that you remain competitive. Because if you are not able to respond to such changes, you'll be left behind. Others will go ahead of you, right? For example, in the space of telecommunication in Malawi here, for example, back in the day, we had MPC, we called what? MPC, right? Malawi Post Corporation, I think. This was the a government institution that was responsible for telecommunications in this country. They used to, they had postal services and of course telecommunication services back in the day. When people wanted to communicate, they could write letters, they take them to post office, and off they went. That's how it used to happen back in the day. But eventually, new innovations came in, the coming in of cell phone communications, the coming in of internet, and so on and so forth, made MPC a bit more redundant and irrelevant. As of now, as we speak, that organization still has the infrastructures. You see them, you know them. We have post offices anyway, post offices around. We have them. But are they functional? If they are, but not very significant. They are not as vibrant as they used to be. Now, what happened? When things were changing, they failed, I would say, they failed to adapt to those changes. So they were not flexible enough. They lacked this, what we call this agility we're talking about here. They never responded to the changes that came into effect. So this is just an example of how your failure to adapt to changes can affect you negatively. We'll talk about that one. I'll find you down there. No, we have migrated. We have moved on. This is a new concept altogether. Oh. Yeah, this is a new concept altogether. Those was we have just seen, I think, 3 ways, right? Yeah. So digitization, relationships, and the third one, I don't know what was the third one, but we have only seen those ones. Here we are looking at this other new concept, and that is supply chain agility, ability of organizations to stay ahead of the competition by, among others, being flexible. Okay, then in the same world of logistics, and of course this logistics, when we are looking at it, we are looking at it at a global perspective, because of some of the things that we are going to see, the new trends. Here we are trying to look at the new trends that are now there in the space of logistics, new trends that probably were not there some 20, 30 years ago. That's what we are seeing here, including that supply chain agility is a new trend that is there. Now, then I'm saying, when we are looking at these ones, let us try to cast our eyes beyond our local setting. At least we should look at it at a global perspective, because if we confine ourselves to the local setting, some of these new trends that we're going to see here will not make sense to us, right? Okay, I'm saying this because there is a new trend here, which we say global labor shortages and automation. Global labor shortages and automation as a new trend in the logistics space. We also need to see that one. So now, I'm saying, if we confine ourselves to the local setting, we find that it will not make sense, because labor shortages, many chituzo so labor shortages. Where is that? Where is that happening? But now, since we are looking at it at a global perspective, so that's why we still have to see it. Now, this is a trend that is there in some countries. And of course, even here also, we can look at it, because unemployment, at times, unemployment is not all about the lack of jobs, but at times unemployment can be there due to lack of skills. Are we together on that one? Yes. So we can say, no, there are no jobs here, yet there are also people who are there. Okay, jobs are there, but there are no people to take up those jobs. And again, there are people also who are not employed. Then to understand that situation becomes a bit more complicated. We are saying here are employers, they are looking for people, there are no people around available. Again, on the other side, there are people who are looking for jobs. Why can't these ones just employ these ones? Why can't these ones just employ these ones? So the issue is to do with skills. So now, in some parts of this global community, there are those issues. There are those situations where companies and organizations are there, but there are no people to take up the jobs due to probably lack of skills and availability of skilled labor force. Now, this leads to a higher cost of production because now the few that are available are also expensive. The labor force that is available is very expensive since they know that labor is scarce. They become so expensive. Now, that one leads to higher cost of production. Now, in view of this, some organizations, companies have now resorted to automation. So, automation is on the rise, mainly due to, or partly, not mainly, partly due to a scarcity of skilled labor, and partly due to the costs that are associated with human labor force. So in the space of logistics, as you are becoming practitioners in this field, you have to keep in mind that there are these trends. There is agility there. There is an issue of automation due to many other factors, including shortage of labor, or else the higher labor costs, that are associated with human workforce. Then we have to migrate to automation. So, in some parts of the global community, labor shortages still persist. That's what we are being told here. In some parts of the global community, labor shortages still persist. So this labor shortage significantly contributes to higher cost of goods, affecting their production and delivery. So to combat or to deal with this problem, that is labor shortage problem, manufacturers and logistics providers have turned to automation. So warehousing processes are now increasingly becoming automated. For example, machines are now responsible for some warehousing functions like picking, packing, even packaging itself. Even transportation is also embracing automation. So due to many other factors, automation is now taking over. But this technology, for example, the automation or robotic technologies, they are good because work is done faster. The costs associated with these ones are a bit lower, okay? But of course, there is also a dark side to the same, right? Is it? Yes. Automation and these technologies, robotic technologies, and so on and so forth. What are the dark sides? Okay. Henry says maintenance costs. What else? Okay. What else? So the situation is interesting because in some parts of the world we are saying, since there were labor shortages, others are introducing machines in there. But at the same time also we are saying these technologies, machines, robots, and so on and so forth, they are also contributing, they can contribute to unemployment. So it's interesting, it's funny. Okay, what else? To do what? Some other people, or even here, you can like this can come here. So other leaders may not know how to use it. You're taught to use it. Okay. They cannot do that one. Okay. And what's the other dark side of it? Apart from creating unemployment, lack of maybe technical know-how, as in how to operate some other things. Okay. What else? Sorry, come again on that one. People become lazy. Oh, see, this one is change resistant. This lady is change resistant, is conservative. Or what she's saying here is, if we are having those technologies at our disposal, we don't have to adopt them. Why? Because we'll become lazy. So we should stick to our ways or old ways of doing things. That's according to Yehosa. Anyway, what you are saying can still be true. So all what we are saying here is, due to a number of reasons, automation is taking the center stage, reminding us that when we are in this space, we also have to think about these new trends that are coming in. Kuti ikati logistics, pali njira zina zamakono zimene zikubwera pakali pano tizidziwe. So zina mwa izo ndi automation. Chamuno automation sitingapange china chilichonse, koma pali zina zoti we still have to adopt and move forward. There is this other trend that is here with us as well, and that is logistics demand forecasting. Logistics demand forecasting. So, Asme, let's talk now, one on one. Demand forecasting, what are we talking about here? They say it's a new trend in logistics space, right? Demand forecasting, logistics demand forecasting. What are we trying to look at? No, just think of it. Don't just think about it. Forecasting. You see that one? Logistics demand forecasting. What's that? Okay. Sarah, you want to say something? Excellent. You see? So, thanks to Sarah, she has rescued you as me. Okay. Yeah, that is it. So, when we are saying forecasting is predicting, right? Forecasting is predicting. That's why those guys, they say weather forecasting. They are predicting what is going to happen next weather-wise. So here, demand forecasting, that is the process of estimating future customer demands for a product or service. So now, this one, you are able to do this based on the historical data and some other factors in the market space. The historical data will help you to predict, as in how customer demand is going to behave itself in the future. So this future here can be in the next 3 months, in the next 6 months, in the next 1 year, in the next 2 years, and so on and so forth. But you can only do this if you are observing the data that you have with you, and you are also observing some other factors. For example, if last year in the month of September, for example, this is how much blankets we sold out there. Now that season is coming back. You can still try to relate and tell that if during this month, since it was too cold, we sold this much, this time around, it seems we are also likely going to sell probably this much, for example. Or what we are saying here is, based on some other factors and the data that is there, you can be able to determine or to predict what is going to happen. So, logistics companies can analyze factors such as sales, history, seasonality, the economy, market trends, and some other things, competition, to determine the expected demand. It's a new trend that is there. Because of this instability in the market space, you need to do this demand forecasting. Because if you just produce things anyhow, just like that, without actually having a picture of how demand is going to behave, it can bring you some problems. Why? Because you overproduce. At the end of the day, you are failing to sell because there is no demand out there. You never predicted accurately and correctly. Or else you can underproduce. Then you find that there is so much demand out there, you are failing to meet that demand and undermining your customer loyalty. There is another trend that is also new in the space, in the logistics space. We need to take note of it, and we are calling this one digital freight marketplace. Digital freight marketplace. So, what are these digital freight marketplaces? These are digital networks where shippers and carriers can connect and arrange for transportation. These are digital networks where shippers and carriers can connect and arrange for transportation. So it helps shippers, those platforms help shippers to find carriers more easily, and actually help carriers as well to find more business opportunities. So in other words, these platforms are there for mutual benefits. The carriers benefit from this, and the shippers also benefit from the same platforms. Again, through these platforms, both shippers and carriers are able to negotiate for best prices for a particular project in question. So, digital freight marketplaces. All right. Now we have these terminologies that I feel you people should have them and familiarize yourselves with. When you're shipping, you are sending your goods to the market, and you are involving a carrier. A carrier here is a transporter. The moment you are handing your goods to this transporter, what you do there is like you are transferring the responsibility or the ownership rather of the goods onto the hands of that transporter, isn't it? Or that carrier. It means he or she will be the one responsible for the goods up to the destination. Now, when you are doing this, for this transfer of responsibility to happen, there are some documents that are exchanged between you two parties. You and the carrier. Mukumpasira zinthu zija, iye chakutenga and akuvomereza ona kuti pano pa zili manja mwanga musadandaule ndikakusiyirani kumwezi kupitako. There is a need for some documents also to be accompany whatever process is happening here. Now, one of the most significant documents that are involved in this one, we call it the BOL, Bill of Lading. I'm trying to bring some terminologies here that are of great benefits. Of course, there are many. I will share with you a certain document that will help you to understand these ones, but the most important ones, the most outstanding ones, I'm trying to highlight them with a certain color so that at least it will be easier for you to understand them. So one of them is the Bill of Lading. So let me define what Bill of Lading is all about. I will define probably a few more terminologies, others I will not, you will read them yourself, but let me just read out, define the few that I have with me here. Okay, so I was saying we have one outstanding document, one significant document that whenever a shipper is sending his goods elsewhere through a carrier, that document must be present and that document is always there. And this one we say is called the Bill of Lading, BOL. So what is this Bill of Lading? This is a legal document that serves as a receipt of goods and a contract between the shipper and the carrier. We should take note of this. It is a legal document that serves as a receipt of goods and a contract between the shipper and the carrier. So, what are some of the things that are included in this BOL? Or what does this BOL contain? So, this Bill of Lading includes information about the goods being shipped, the names and addresses of the shipper and the carrier, and terms and conditions of the shipment. This is what happens. This is some of the things that are contained in the document. So it is about the goods being shipped, names and addresses of the shipper and the carrier, and terms and conditions of the shipment. That's the Bill of Lading. Then let us look at some other terminology as well. Okay, in a supply chain, we always say there is a certain function that is also prominent, and that is warehousing. And warehousing is a function that actually we find in logistics, which is a sub-function of supply chain, right? Now, in warehousing, when you're looking at warehousing as a function as it is, we have different types of warehouses, but we are not breaking down those types of warehouses. I just want us to look at one type of warehouse, and there's a terminology there, and I'm interested in that terminology. We have a type of